Now, Cardiff City have found themselves dragged into the relegation fight this season with inconsistency and a lack of cutting edge proving costly. Despite some early promise, a poor run of form has left them looking over their shoulders as the campaign nears its conclusion. Defensive lapses, limited creativity, and a shortage of goals have all contributed to their slide down the table. Injuries and squad depth issues haven't helped, but there's also been criticism of the team's tactical direction and recruitment choices. We discussed how Cardiff's struggles stem from a failure to build any sustained momentum, with a lack of identity on the pitch making them vulnerable in key matches. As the pressure mounts, survival has become the only focus, and the need for a reset this summer is growing clearer by the week.
Well, it's fair to say that this season for Cardiff City has not been a memorable one at all. They sit inside the Championship's relegation zone and are staring the drop in the face, going back down to League One after a few seasons away from it. For Omar Riza's side, it's just not looking good at all. You know, recent losses to the likes of Stoke City just have highlighted just where they're at as a club at present, and the fact that they just can't seem to get themselves into any sort of string of form just shows that they're not a side who perhaps even deserve to be in the Championship come the end of the season. Of course, you know, Cardiff City supporters will argue differently, because of course they are the team that they want to see do well. But I think from a neutral standpoint, you just have to say that they haven't been good enough this season. And so, Charles, I'm going to ask you, where has it gone wrong, and just what have been the causes of this downfall for them?
Yeah, I think there's been a majority, so many different factors in terms of where Cardiff's season has gone wrong, where the decline has sort of started with the club. I mean, they were a Premier League outfit in 2018, not that long ago, really, if you look back. And then obviously again in 2013, they've had some sustained spells as a club, which has been really positive, and they've done well in the FA Cup at times. They've got to the last stages of that, and it's just slowly petered out. I mean, they haven't replaced some of their players that they've let go. The transfer strategy just hasn't been good enough. It's been sort of sell and not really replace, like many clubs are having to do at the moment due to the financial restrictions. But yeah, I think there's been so many issues. I mean, you go back to the very start of this season, fans didn't know what were happening. They wrote a letter to the board saying we need more clear sort of communication between the board and the fans. We don't really know who's going to be in charge because of the managerial situation, obviously with Errol Bullitt, who ended up being dismissed, and then Omar Riza comes in and he's got such a challenge to juggle in terms of keeping them in the Championship again. They obviously narrowly avoided it last season, and they've been around it. I think if you look at the relegation battle from a neutral perspective and Cardiff's decline, it's been coming for a long time, this has, and Cardiff really want to avoid it, as we've mentioned previously. But yeah, there's been so many issues off the pitch, I think, is where it all sort of stems from. The ownership situation just isn't clear. The managerial situation wasn't resolved in the right way at all. And, Cardiff City supporters really don't know where to look at the moment. They've got a side who are full of young talent. There are some top talents in there, some young players who've really made a difference. And I mean, I think it's as damning as it is when you look at the last Wales squad, and there's absolutely zero Cardiff City players in there for the first time in, you have to go back a very long time for the last time that happened. Obviously, the likes of Aaron Ramsey and his injury record haven't helped. He's been good when he's been on the pitch, but that's just sort of a bit of a rarity at the moment. So, look, I mean, Cardiff City's situation has been a real decline. Capital City club of Wales, they want to be making sure that they're in and around the Welsh squad as well, with obviously the World Cup coming up in a year or so. So yeah, it's stems. There's a lot of deep-rooted problems at the club, and they are praying that they do avoid the drop, because it could be continue this huge downslide that they are unfortunately on.